Do you wave your terrible towel when Renegade plays like we do? Knock drinks over when JJ shouts, "He scores!" after a Flyer lights the lamp? Paint PSU on your chest for game days? Turn up the sound when the lights go out and the rubber goes down on F1? Join us for the SteelFlyers Video Cast coming to enlighten you on the Steelers, Flyers, and everything in between. The greatest combination of sports fandom since pineapple was put on pizza. Sit back as we welcome your host, SteelFlyers. Thank you. That is the incomparable and lovely co-host, RoNece. On this special edition of the SteelFlyers Video Show, we have a special treat lined up for you.
What happened in Game 3, and can the boys right the ship to make a comeback for Game 4?
That treat we promised, well, here it is. We are joined by the awesome Lance Green from the FLYERS Nitty Gritty Crew, and we have lots to get into.
Ultimate Trivia, where I try to get the smoke and pouring out of the ears of the SteelFlyers and our guest.
Thank you so much for joining us on the special NHL playoff edition of the SteelFlyers podcast. On this special edition, we are overwhelmingly delighted to be joined by none other than the writer extraordinaire, Lance Green, from the incomparable FLYERS Nitty Gritty. Lance, we cannot tell you what a blessing and a pleasure it is to have you on the show. Please tell the folks how we can follow you and get a hold of all your great articles.
Hi, guys. Just happy to be here. Thanks for having me on. If you'd like to get up with me or follow me after this podcast, if you like what you hear, you can go onto Twitter at LNGBASSIST39. That's LNG Basis 39, and catch all my rest of my great posts and my articles on FLYERSNittyGritty.com.
Yeah, man, for sure. And you guys got to be following that stuff because these guys are the professionals. These guys are the standard, and this is what it's all about. Like I said, it's awesome to have you here on the show. Please remember to click the like and the subscribe, and make sure you let us know what you think in the comments. Well, we got a lot of questions for you, man. We'll try to go easy on you. Me and you connected through the FLYERS Nitty Gritty on Twitter and through Jamie, of course. And if you could give us some highlights on your journey of becoming a sports writer and how you got involved with FLYERS Nitty Gritty.
Sure. Well, I've known Jamie for probably about 12 years now. We've worked at the same location. And over the years, we just always got together after a Flyers game or something and talked hockey. Talk shop at work. So when Jamie started to get into writing, I, of course, was very interested in all that. So nice. Over talking with him, he would tell me about all the different stuff he's getting into, interviewing players at practices, talking to draft prospects, et cetera, et cetera. And, of course, my enthusiasm exude all that stuff. So I started thinking maybe I could do this, as well. Jamie being the positive person that he was supportive in that and tried to push me in that same field along the way. I didn't know if I could actually do it, but he tried to get me involved with his last place of business where he wrote for. I just didn't particularly like his boss and all that. So kind of got a bad taste in my mouth from that. So when Jamie eventually started his own thing, FLYERS Nitty Gritty, he came to me and he said, he wanted me on his team and, he thinks I could do it. I told him I would think about it and went home and told my wife. And, she was more than, supportive and pushing almost to get me into this because she thought I could definitely do it. So I definitely thank, Jamie for the opportunity first off, and my wife for the, reassurance that I could actually do this. That's how I kind of got into it. And ever since then, it's been up and running ever since. My article is getting published for everybody to read.
Yeah, great stuff, man.
Being put on Bleacher Report and now trending on Google is just, blows my mind that people actually want to hear what I have to say.
Me included. Hello.
Right. So, that's how I got into it, and hopefully it, carries on, continues to get better.
Yeah, man. Like I said, dude, I love reading your stuff. I love your perspective on things, and it's it's like I've told you many times in our Twitter back and forth that I feel that I would much rather read somebody who really cares and who has like a stake in it. It seems like you have a stake in it. You know what I mean? And I love reading your stuff because it's grammatically correct. Okay, and there's no spelling errors. Look, uh, to me, I'm a stickler for detail, as I'm sure you're slowly learning. But I like when there's things that are grammatically correct. I like when you the correct use of where, the correct use of there. You know what I mean? So, and I
Yeah,
appreciate that
I
very
definitely
much.
try that, and I attribute that to my wife as well, who I have like look over my stuff after I write it. A lot of these guys, that I see when I go to the practices and stuff, they're just sitting there, not even watching the practice, but trying to type up an article as fast as they can and get it over with so that they can turn in what they're supposed to. Uh, I don't like doing that. I like taking my time. I like doing the research and all that and putting as much into it as I can.
See, and that shows through in your writing, man, and really appreciate that. And I just wanted to make sure that we got that out there, so you know what I mean. So,
I appreciate that.
all right. So I think we got a special question here from our co-host RoNece.
Yes. I'm a little.
That's okay. That's all right. She's a little nervous.
I. mm, just- Okay. So you played as a goalie, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry. How long did you play goalie?
I still play. I started when I was probably 5 or 6 and have continued on since then. Now just playing in adult leagues and
Oh,
for my
nice.
team at work and stuff. So,
Oh, cool.
That's awesome.
Is it like a pickup league kind of thing where?
well, we are getting into be bigger law enforcement leagues and different stuff like that. So.
Oh, yeah. There you go. Nice, 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 nice.
Okay.
So, how long did you play for? In organized, like you played organized, right? So, how long did you play for?
Yeah, I played all growing up as a kid, juniors, high school hockey, up into probably my senior year of high school and stuff like that. I kind of blew my knees out trying to push too hard to get somewhere.
Yeah.
I was running cross country and then going to hockey practice like 7 days a
That
week.
sounds like a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh
so
my
it
gosh.
was a lot. I was playing for like 4 or 5 different teams at once. Hockey can be kind of unfair in that aspect. I was scouted for like the little flyers and little caps by their coaches and told to come out for tryouts, but that's like grossly expensive to make those teams and be on those teams, and you got to get a tutor and everything like that because you're constantly gone, just like the regular teams flyers are.
Yeah. Yeah. You're not in
Yeah.
school and
So
stuff like that.
my parents just couldn't afford that. I mean, they did everything they can to allow me to play and travel all over the place like I did, but I had players that I played with that I totally shut down in practice, and then their parents had money and went to go play for those teams, and they ended up playing overseas and stuff just because they
Yeah.
got exposure, more so
Yeah.
than others. So
Yeah, that's kind of and that's another thing that I thought was kind of very interesting that you did play because that does give you a different perspective as far as what's going on in the locker room and things like that. You know what I mean? So,
right.
um, being a goalie, that is a rather key position. You know what I mean? So, how would you analyze how you played? Now, I mean, now that you've gone through
Well,
and
he's still playing, so that's
oh,
not a
okay,
fair
yeah, all
question.
right, yeah, all right. So there you go. So, all right. So put your analyzation goggles on, and say, how do you play?
Well, I think I modeled my game after my idols at the time when I was growing up, which were Hextall and Dominic Hasek. Kind
Oh,
of an
those are good idols.
kind of an odd combination for sure, but I think for the most part, I modeled Hextall, focusing on like a stand-up style, and I was very aggressive in net. Still kind of am when I still play. I like to come out and cut down the angles and challenge the guys. I stuck up for myself. I definitely didn't need anybody to help me stand up for myself.
Because Hextall didn't have a problem with that either.
No, like I definitely got into a lot of fights. I didn't need anybody to protect me when I got slashed or iced. I protected my teammates even. When somebody got hurt, I was the first one jumping out of the goal crease to go after them, getting kicked out of the game for doing so, and then following the guy into the play into their respective locker room.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
So yeah, I was definitely aggressive in nature, but as far as like Dominic Hasek comes into play, I definitely followed his aspect of never giving up on a play, using whatever part of my body when the play was breaking down to stop the puck.
Yeah.
Make the stop. So I attribute that to him. So that's kind of my kind of style.
There you go. That's awesome, man.
Okay, so since we're talking about goalies, what about Carter Hart for the Flyers? Is he the only thing keeping them in the playoffs right now?
I don't think he's the only thing. I think he's a good part of it. He's definitely had his games, obviously, with shutouts and everything that he has in previous series. He's got an extreme focus. I mean that you don't see at a kid his age for sure. Most kids his age aren't even in the league yet, and here he is being a dominant playoff goaltender. When I speak to Hart in the locker room and stuff, when I could go in the locker room to all this COVID stuff, he sounds like a 30-year-old vet if you talk to him. He's so knowledgeable, and he has such a love for the game and respect for it that, I mean, he just is a true professional.
You don't see that from somebody his age.
That's what
you don't see that through most veterans. They just
that are 30
come to the rink, play, and want to go home and play with all their toys that their money bought them. He just does all the small things right, for sure. He does all the small things right, and by the end of his career, and hopefully as a Flyer, he'll definitely have his name raised in all the banners next to them. I surely hope he sticks around with us, because he is what the Flyers have been looking for so long.
Exactly. I mean, we've gone through so many different goalies to finally have somebody that can really help us.
Yeah,
exactly.
I mean, the last one we had, honestly, the last one we had was Hextall. We really haven't had a general look. I think Pelle Lindbergh could have been one, but we never got to see him come to fruition. You know what I mean? Because he was taken from us. And quite honestly, we've had some pretty decent goalies throughout the years. I mean, Bush played pretty well. Ash played pretty well.
Bob.
I mean, if we could have hung on to Bob, gosh, but played really well too. You know what I mean? So it's, and I think that's a perfect thing here. As far as what we're talking about right now. Now we have Carter Hart. We're looking at. I really don't like to bring up bad stuff in podcasts, but Game 3 was kind of woo. Gosh, man, what do you think? We're kind of in the throes here of a back-to-back, and do you really think that do you think we'll be able to bounce back? Do you think Carter Hart is going to start again? I mean, there's a lot of questions going into this game, and I think this game tonight is one of the most pivotal games that we've played since we've been back.
I agree.
I definitely agree. I don't know if Hart will be back. It's definitely a short turnaround, but there's no travel involved like there would be. So possibly. But I wouldn't be surprised if Elliott played as well. The key things I think they need to focus on tonight is to play a full 60 minutes. Last night they played one period, and they looked
Less
good
than
for that one period. And then after that, they were kind of just chasing the Islanders. They went into a dump and chase method, which never works in my mind. And simply gives away the puck when you already have possession of it. I think they need to skate the puck into the zone and set up. They do
Listen
not,
to this man.
right. They do not have the ability to skate with these young guys like Barzell. Simply on the roster, they don't have it. They need to take him out of the game. He was wide open throughout the course of the game, and they should be treating him like Ovechkin or Crosby and totally wiping him out of the game and having somebody glued to his side at all times.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. All right, so that was the bad.
What's the good?
Yeah.
Okay, so who do you think? Although we did have a bad game, who do you think the best player was of the game?
I'm thinking in my mind it was Pitlick, who has been great all season long. He not only scored the goal or whatever like that, but he was noticeable every shift he was on the ice. From forechecking to back checking to just finishing his checks. Every time he was out on the ice, he demanded and the puck. And he just played the style of play that AV wants his team to play, a complete 200-foot game.
Finally,
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, I'm going to piggyback off of that, and I'm going to say I was very surprised about how well JVR played. And also how well Lawton played. Look, I understand that they were on the ice for some of the goals against, and I get it. But I really liked that they had that fight. Like, you really heard their names a lot, and they were out on the ice a lot, especially for the PK, you know what I mean, and stuff like that too. So I'm really with you on that. That we did do. I'm tired of talking about the things that we did well. I want to talk about the things that, oh my gosh, if we don't keep doing this, we're going to, you know what I mean? Because exactly with what you said, we need to be dictating play instead of chasing the game. We need to be the ones skating the puck in, because if we don't skate the puck in, we're not able to win the race to the puck, and they are beating us. And it's like, we skate the puck in, dump it in, they collect it, skate back out, shot on goal.
Right.
Wait. We just had the puck. Hold on a second. You know what I mean? I don't get it.
Yeah.
So
we kind of talked about what's wrong. We need to stop dump and chase, because all it does is, put us behind. And...
no, for real. And I think we're all in the same school of thought when it comes to that, And speaking of kind of what's wrong with the team, let's kind of get into the future of the Flyers, because I think that's going to be a major issue, especially if we don't address this issue right now, because we are severely lacking speed up the middle. Okay. And what I mean by the future of the Flyers, we've got a lot of prospects coming up. You've seen them firsthand. You know what I mean? And what do you think about the current regime? I mean, they seem like they're willing to continue to stockpile the cupboards and everything and continue on with what Hextall thinks, or continue on to what Hextall's been doing. What do you think about all that?
Right. I mean, the Flyers are in an obvious good place right now. They have extreme depth in most every position there is. They're getting younger and faster, but there's still a couple of guys that are, a little slew of foot. Prospects like center Morgan Frost and Tanner Lazinski and Jay O'Brien, are going to be there hopefully sometime soon to push that youth movement up the center. We have great wing prospects like newly signed Sandin, Isaac Radcliffe, Bobby Brink, Noah Cates, defensemen. We still have Zumala, Friedman, Wyatt Wiley, Mason Millman, Cam York, like the list goes on. But, in goal, we have the Russians, Ustominkov, Ivan Fedorov, the Swedes, Samuel Ersson, Felix Sandstrom, all of which I like. But the Flyers are coming into a new problem. And this doesn't seem like it is to most people, but it's a new problem for them in the sense of we almost have too many prospects now. any new draftees coming in this season are no place to go at the end for him here.
Yeah.
In a sense, as evidenced by Wylick, I can't pronounce his name, Kolnuck, who played with Wisconsin. We thought we were going to sign him. We thought we had had him in the bag for lining up with Wyatt Wiley, maybe on the Phantoms roster this year, and he walked because there's no place for him to go. If you look at the current Flyers defense core, it's full of young youth and talent. So that are going to be there for possibly the next 5-10 years. So why will these prospects sign if they're going to be buried? And that's where I've kind of in articles past to some degree of haste from other people reading is to package some of these lesser prospects. Because you got to think of it, Fletcher's coming in to Hextall's, handiwork. He can't possibly like every single prospect that Hextall brought in, and he has his own guys that he eventually wants to sign as well. So
and
that's
can you
why.
Blame him though?
No, I mean obviously not. He's got to do his job. He can't just continue on with what Hextall was doing.
Right.
So I tried to pose trading a couple draft picks that are not as well liked and a package deal to possibly get higher end draft picks that are buried in depth charts on other teams. Guys like Owen Tippett from Florida, Bolton from Nashville, or Joel Esperance from Dallas. I posed guys that are just talented prospects, but for one reason or another haven't made that jump to the NHL on their teams because of extreme depth at their position on the NHL level.
Right. And that's another key important thing too, which, when you start looking and looking at other teams and what they're looking at, and start mining guys off of other teams, because kind of that's where we're at now. I mean, we're not going to be able to. We'd have a much better and I really like that angle on that, because we would have a much better success of getting a better player than we would if we were drafting people. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Because at least that way we know, hey, they could have made it on their team, but because there's so much depth there that they're not making it. But look at what they're doing in juniors. Look at what they're doing at the AHL level. Look at what they're doing at the other levels. You know what I mean? Okay, I'll take that guy. You know what I mean? So great angle on that, man, for sure.
It is great for that angle for the teams that are still building. But I mean, look at us now. We're went from a bottom dweller in one season to jumping up to be first overall in the Eastern Conference for the playoffs. So in the same token, I think the time is now to start cashing in on the team that we do have now before the Giroux and the Voraceks are gone. This is the time where we need to trade something. And I hate to say it, but teams like the Penguins, who just went out and cashed in and getting Kapanen, are doing things right because they see the light at the end of the tunnel with
Crosby and
Malkin and Crosby getting older and older. And now, who else are they going to have coming up the pike? They're trying to get one more championship in there, and who can blame them? They already have 3 in recent years. So
especially with that group.
Group, just that group.
Yeah. So you can't blame the Flyers for trying to do something we should be doing those things, and that's why I've really been impressed with what Fletcher has done and how even though I feel like he's continued what Hextall's doing, but I really like what he's been doing because he was the one that brought Pitlick in, and he was the one that brought Niskanen in. And both of those guys have been huge impact players on our team right now, today, tonight, the last series, every game that we've played since then. You know what I mean? And every person that he's brought in since then has been an impact on our team. Okay? Yeah. And
Kevin Hayes, I mean... Where would this team be without Kevin Hayes right now, with Nolan Patrick still being out, with whatever head concussion symptoms, whatever they want to put that on him.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Quite honestly, just a little sidebar on that. I've had my bell rung quite a few times. I played football, okay, and I know what it's like to get your bell rung and not know where you are and what planet you're on, okay, and it's not fun, okay, and I just, man, I just feel for the kid, because if one hit, that's all it would take. And we've seen what's happened to players who get hit and then hit the ice, and that's all it would take, because look at what happened to Primo. Look at what happened. I mean, all those other players that have gone out because of that. You know what I mean? So, oh man. But I really like what Fletcher's done with the team. I really like how he's moving things along. You know what I mean? And I like what he's done as far as picking things up. And I like the fact that we're starting to play the kids more. You know what I mean?
Gotta give them a shot.
We look, do you think we're jumping the shark? Should we be jumping the shark yet? I mean, we're down 2-1.
I don't think so. I think I have a lot of trust in AV and his ability.
Man, I'm trying.
Yeah.
I'm trying.
Have faith.
I'm trying to have faith, man. I really am. But look, I've been saying this on Twitter all day. I've been saying it for the last couple of weeks on every video and podcast that I've done for the last 2 weeks since we've been playing in Montreal. I think we need speed up the middle. I think we need to move Giroux into center. And I think if we do that, we'll be able to make some other adjustments around him and get some other guys up the middle with speed and get some other wingers that will have better mobility and get better chances and get better shots on goal. That's just my 2 cents on that. I do not understand what AV's love affair is with Grant and Thompson. They've shown perfect times when, okay, I understand why we got them, but seriously, this is not their series. It's not their game. They're skating in concrete and they need to be gone. I'm sorry, that's my 2 cents. I'm getting off my box now.
I definitely agree. Actually, with what you just mentioned with Grant, actually was just working on a piece currently about that, as well as another one in the middle of writing on the Nolan Patrick situation. So it's funny how we sitting here conversing, and it's just what I was writing about right before you called me up for this podcast.
I tend to have that capabilities. My wife will tell you that I'm able to just kind of tune into things, I guess. I don't know.
No. So what do you think of the Nolan Patrick situation? What do you think is going to happen? Do you think he's going to be able to come back?
I really don't know, and that's why I was not finished with the article.
Yeah.
Stay tuned.
I'm currently working on just now because I keep pondering over different thoughts and keep adding more to it as my articles can get kind of lengthy at times. But I like to attack it from all angles. So I would say the best answer for that is to wait a day or two, and maybe you'll see what.
There you go. I love
Nice.
it. Yeah, because I'm still finding over them. So.
Well, okay. Well, so then here you go. And so the announcement has been made. So there's definitely going to be an article that you're doing about Nolan Patrick, and then you're also doing another article on what was the other one you said you were doing on Thompson.
Well, Thompson and Grant specifically. Third line center, yeah.
Okay. All right. Cool.
So those, look forward to those.
Yeah, definitely. All right. Well, I think.
You want to do some trivia?
Yeah, I think she's gonna try to get some smoke pouring out of our ears, man.
Okay.
She's got some tough questions.
They're not that hard.
I don't even know what they are. I don't ever get to see them either. So
okay, so
we'll try.
I'm gonna do Steel first. He's gonna answer the first question.
Okay.
Okay, and so in 1976, the Flyers had a mascot. Do you know what the name of that mascot was?
Oh my gosh. I didn't think that they I don't know, the Philly Flyer? I don't know.
No, it was the Slapshot.
The Slapshot. Did you know that one, Lance?
I didn't know the name, but I did know that they did have one for a very short length of time. It didn't take at all. at
No,
that
it
time.
just dropped the following year. They only had it for 1 year.
Okay.
Because it wasn't gritty.
Yeah, it wasn't gritty.
No.
Man, I'll tell you what, whoever came up with gritty, I hope they're making a lot of money because that was a brilliant idea.
It really was.
It was. I mean, we got throughout the entire quarantine, we watched the Gritty's quarter hour of power and all that stuff. So
Okay, so Lance, are you ready?
Sure.
Okay, so this is going back a couple of years. Do you know that there was a leap year baby on the team? And I'm going to give you a hint. It was in 2003, so it was a player in 2003. Do you know what player was born on a leap year? On a leap year, leap day.
yeah, there you go.
I can't even say I have even the slightest idea who that might be. I mean, I definitely was watching the Flyers back then, but no
it was
clue.
Simone Gagne. He was born in 1980, so he's actually technically only 6 years old. Well, at the time of this question, I don't know where this is written.
Okay.
But yeah.
So he was born on a leap year.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh wow. So February 28th.
There's your two ultimate questions. I got both of you today.
Well, man, I got to tell you something. It's been an absolute pleasure having you on, Lance. I can't even say enough and thank you enough for being here. I can't thank the Flyers Nitty Gritty crew enough for getting me in touch with you and getting me in touch with all those great guys, because Jamie and Yarf has been really awesome and they've been very supportive of everything that I've been doing. It's really been great having you on here. And I just want to say thank you very much for coming on. And why don't you let us know how we can follow you and get in touch with you?
Yeah, sure. Thanks again for having me on. I've enjoyed myself. If you want to follow me, guys, again, Twitter, LNGBASSIST39, or you can read all my stuff on FlyersNittyGritty.com. We're also always on Bleacher Report. Thankfully, got some exposure, definitely exposure out of them. So, just look us up, give us a shot.
Yeah, man, for sure. And also check this out too. You can get all of your stuff and all the Flyers Nitty Gritty stuff on the Steel Flyers website. Check it out, www.steelflyers.com. Also have another really great announcement that I'd like to put out there. We are going to be expanding. The website's going to be expanding and the videos are going to be expanding, and we're going to try to get a whole new lineup of guests and shows that we're going to try to do, and we're going to be teaming up with a couple of different people, some people that you know, Mr. Lance. And I would also like to extend a permanent guest spot whenever you so desire. Mr. Green, you are welcome anytime you want to come on here. All you have to do is ring me up and you got a platform, my brother. Anytime you want to come. Thank you all very much for watching and tuning in. This is your host, Steel Flyers. Thanks. Stay strong, stay safe, and hang tough.